Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please make your way to your seats. We're going to be starting the program in just a few moments. I'm Matthew Sabellis. I'm the Director of Programming for live and virtual events here at Education Week. I'm going to go through a couple of housekeeping notes for you all in the room this morning, for those of you here, and then I'll be introducing you all to the live stream audience. I hope you've all gotten your coffee. I hope you're all feeling good. This is going to be a great morning of celebrating excellence in K-12 education, so we're glad you're here. We're offering free Wi-Fi today. There are 3 easy steps for you to do. They should be easy. Your network will be jwmarriott_conference. Then you should get your login page. Your web browser should basically bring you to a page where you need to plug in your code. Your code should be all caps, EPE 2014. We hope you'll tweet about this event throughout the day. We love our Twitter fans. Please follow us at #LTLF14. There's been a change to our agenda today. I want to share that with you now. Senator Bennett will be joining us during our networking luncheon at 12:15 due to an important member meeting in Congress this morning. After the mid-morning break, instead of Senator Bennett, we will be bringing to the stage 2 more of our leaders to discuss arts education and innovative approaches to district procurement. So that'll be happening in its place. You received, when you came to the reg desk today, this yellow form. We're hoping that you will take the time to fill this out. It's very important for us to get feedback on our events. This, if you keep this handy throughout the day, please share your thoughts and then bring it to the reg table again when you leave. Those of you looking for the restrooms, those are located through the back where the elevators were and behind the elevators to your left. As you can see in the back of the room today, we do have a live stream of edweek.org where we have hundreds of folks tuned in today watching this event. For all of you on the live stream, I hope you enjoy your day today. You'll have the best view of the house, so enjoy. If I may, I want to bring your attention to the digital networking guide that we got here. This is at the URL that you see on the screen here. In here, you're going to find, it's a really helpful guide with all the faces, the headshots and the names and the faces and the titles and the affiliations of those people here in the room today. Included in that list are our 2013 leaders to learn from who have been able to attend with us today. I want to take a second here, if I may, to ask those folks who were leaders to learn from 2013 to stand up. If I could get your attention and have everybody welcome the leaders to learn from last year. They include Jonathan, if you guys can remain standing for a second, that's Jonathan Bryce. I don't know if Jonathan's gotten here yet. I have Michelle Brooks, if you could wave your hand. There we go. Patricia Ciccone. We've got Linda Hicks. There she is. Hi, Linda. We've got Dr. Austin Abasahan. Jeffrey Plattenberg, I don't know if you're here yet. Yeah, hey, Jeff. And Judy Sorrell. Thank you and congratulations again from last year's recognition. Of course, for everybody in the room, if you could please silence your cell phones. At this point in the proceedings, I'd like to take a very important departure here. It's my opportunity to thank our sponsors. Without our sponsors, this event and other events of this magnitude would not be possible. Today's diamond sponsors are Renaissance Learning, Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, the Leadership and Learning Center, Scholastic Achievement Partners. Our gold sponsors are National Student Clearinghouse and Cambridge International Examinations. And our event sponsors are Middlebury Interactive Languages and OtterBox. OtterBox will be holding a giveaway today during today's event. I want to encourage you all to bring your business cards to the front desk there again at the reg desk. They will be giving away 6 iPad cases. Our staff is collecting people's business cards at that reg desk. Be sure to drop yours off. You'll be in the running. I will be making announcements about who wins before our last speaker of the day, more or less. If I could, Lisa Flint from OtterBox, if you could stand up for a second. If you win, please connect with Lisa. She's at table 14, and it would be great for you to connect with her so she can get you connect with you for your, winning prize. And of course, we hope you'll take the time to learn about all of the great offerings from our sponsors here that they provide your schools and your districts as we take this look into innovative leadership driving those we recognize here today. Also in the room today are some of the leaders, family, and friends. I want to thank them for coming here. They're celebrating the exceptional leadership of their loved ones in America's K-12 schools. Some of you have flown in from as far away as Alaska, so I want to thank you especially for being here. It's now my pleasure to introduce to you today's host, Ginny Edwards. She is the Editor-in-Chief of Education Week, and she's the President of Editorial Projects in Education. Everyone, Ginny Edwards.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, thank you. Welcome to our second annual Leaders to Learn From Forum and Recognition presentation. We're very pleased that you could join us for what I know will be a very interesting and engaging and interactive day as we highlight the leadership models of 16 district leaders, the strategies they use to achieve school and district level goals. These leaders represent districts large and small, urban, rural, and suburban. To help find the leaders we're honoring today, and this is important to understand the methodology so you all can help, Education Week put out a call to its readers for nominations. That process started shortly after last year's nominations were announced in early 2013. We've been at this a year. We also sought nominations from the leaders of administrators groups in most of the 50 states, as well as members of the Education Writers Association. That's a DC-based association organization that includes local education reporters across the country. Education Week's own reporters also did yeoman's duty, and they identified leaders who are making a difference in their very specific topical areas that they cover. And members of our editorial staff, which is, say, the newsroom, made the final decisions. While some of the leaders you will meet today are nationally known for their accomplishments within their own slices of the education world, most are not particularly high-profile superintendents who most typically make the headlines across the country. In fact, only 9 are superintendents out of the 16. The rest have worked most of their careers below or just below the public radar, as directors of instructional technology or food services, for example. But one common characteristic among this group is that they all had a clear vision of how they wanted to improve their districts or areas of responsibility, and they followed through on it. The importance of effective educational leadership goes without saying, of course, and you all know that some of the research shows that it's really second only to classroom instruction, which is to say teachers and teaching, among all school-related factors that contribute to student learning. Today, we will draw attention to the importance of exemplary intentional leadership and spread the word about the tactics and strategies that leaders in some of the nation's 14,000 plus school districts that others may want to adopt or adapt. So I really do look forward to meeting with you all today and chatting. Please know that you don't be shy, just come up, introduce yourself, let me know what's on your mind. And also feel free to engage in our online conversation, as Matthew just said, with the Twitter hashtag LTLF14. So now we're going to start what is the favorite part of the day, my favorite part of the day, and introduce you to Education Week's 2014, begin introducing you to the 2014 class of Leaders to Learn From. We begin in the St. Louis Public Schools.
In marriages, there are fights, there are disagreements.
We confront each other around the challenges that we have. We communicate to make sure that we can resolve the issue.
I tend to be very feisty, and he's just cool, calm.
She's a very principled person in terms of what she believes and thinks.
Trenton came to school today. Trenton came to school. Hey, hey, what do you say? Trenton came to school.
The St. Louis Public School District is a district that at one time had over 111,000 students, and today houses 27,000 students.
We have 90% plus free and reduced lunch. We have a poor tax base. The poverty level is very high. We are currently provisionally accredited, and what we're seeking is to be fully accredited as a school district.
The district had prior to last year, a steady decline over the last 25, 30 years of student populations. In the last 2 years, the student population has increased.
I think we've come a long way, but we have a long way to go.
Janae came to school today. Janae came to school. Hey, hey, what do you say? Janae came to school.
When I became superintendent 5 years ago, the union, AFT, Local 420, discussed with me this whole notion of increasing the number of seats in early child education. And so the union and I started having this conversation, and we were able to find some dollars to increase the number of seats. So we moved from about 1,200 to 1,300 seats to about 2,100 seats. But this was in partnership with the union. We started a collaboration, if you will, and we made a decision intentionally that we are better together than apart. The commonality for us is student achievement, increased student achievement. That's really what it's about, making sure that young people get the support they need to have.
The advantage of pre-K in our school district is that they will stay with the district and gives them confidence in what we can do, so that increases our enrollment. Pre-K will instill into that child a new culture of education that will continue with them throughout their years of education in St. Louis Public Schools. Working with Dr. Adams is different from the previous superintendents that I've had to work with before. He's very active in going into buildings and going up and down steps. Doesn't say much, but he will listen. He doesn't always agree with me. I don't always agree with him, but he's always been receptive to work with us to improve the quality of education for students, to making sure that we're providing quality professional development to the employees in the district as well.
Hey, honey, how are you? What's the ring? Come on, help yourself to the food. We have plenty. Right here. Oh, okay.
President Armstrong is passionate about what she believes, and that is that teachers need to be given every opportunity to be successful. She's passionate about this district because she's spent her entire career here, and she's passionate about this city. She grew up here. She attended schools in this city. She cares deeply about the kids. She cares deeply about this district, and I think she's kind of given her life to it.
Dr. Adams is the one who said that the relationship that he and I share is like a marriage. Sometimes someone has to sleep on the couch, but we shall never divorce.
We really don't have a lot of time to argue, fuss, and fight. We have a limited amount of time to show that we can be successful, or this district doesn't really exist in the way that this community wants it to exist.
That's our existence as well. That's our survival. So we want to make sure that this district is successful and Dr. Adams is successful as a superintendent, so that we all will remain employed.
The St. Louis school system has been through a lot over these past few years, including the threat of financial instability and loss of full accreditation. But Superintendent Kelvin Adams and Mary Armstrong, the president of the AFT St. Louis, worked together to find a way to strengthen and expand the city's preschool offerings and begin to change their district. Kelvin, Mary, please join me here on stage. We want to honor you for your efforts. Grip and grin now. Yeah, that's right. How are you? Thank you. While serving as the Director of Instructional Technology of the Adams 12 five-star schools in Thornton, Colorado, Julie Boland witnessed steep budget cuts that forced the district to reduce all elementary and middle school librarians to half-time service. As a result, one librarian was placed in each high school, and other librarians were split between two schools. Faced with these unfortunate circumstances, Boland developed a plan that transformed the role of librarians. She redeployed the district's librarians in 10 of the schools as digital literacy teachers to work in the classroom as co-teachers focusing on digital literacy skills, information literacy, and tech literacy, rather than maintaining book collections or checking out books, tasks that were passed on to others. The pilot program was reported to be wildly successful and was expanded the following year. Julie, we are ready to bring you on up and honor you for your efforts as a leader to learn from. Studi. How are you? We have to get here so we can see sweetheart. Thank you.
Art education is critical for children and youth simply because it gives them the ability to not only express themselves, but to explore their own potential. My name is Dennis Creedon, Assistant Superintendent, School District of Philadelphia. For myself, as an example, as a person who's dyslexic, I learned that I was a failure. I couldn't read until the age of 10, but I was gifted in music and I was gifted in art. And those two things enabled me to more or less be inoculated with hope. So when we look at children who are struggling, the arts are one of the things that enables us to have a resilience of hope. And the resiliency, that grit that is needed in education to make it, is something that children have to have if they are going to not give up the struggles that we have in life. I first started teaching in the parochial school system where the requirement for a bachelor's degree at that time was not required. When I decided that I truly wanted to be a public school teacher, I knew I had to have the degree, so I went back to school. As a classroom teacher, I discovered when I handed the papers back to my children that I saw some children's eyes full up with tears. And I had the whiplash cognitively of realizing I've become the oppressor that I suffered under. How could I teach differently so that everyone was welcome to the banquet of education? And that's when I began to experiment with what worked for me. I remember I taught a little ditty to my students in the 3rd grade where we covered the entire science curriculum in one little song, primarily to build vocabulary, word recognition. And once the students owned the words through the song, I could then dig deeper into the content with them. That gave credence to the terrarium that we built, and it also helped us with the building of the mobiles of the planets. But the children needed also to have the fun of singing this little song, because it took a subject that was alien and it made it human. And the arts became the encapsulating borders, so to speak, around the unit. We need to ensure that our children have the experiences of creativity in childhood, because in life, not everyone is going to be an accountant. Not everyone is going to be a research biologist. But in the end, if I don't have a creative consciousness to be able to apply what I know, my knowledge is of no value. And the arts give us that creative lens so that when we have a problem, we don't just think one pathway, we have a divergent opportunity to think another solution. And that's the critical difference, being able to think differently.
For the past 25 years, Dennis was the major supporter for arts education in the Philadelphia schools. He created several plans to ensure his students received arts education. They included an innovative arts residency program that brought in artists to work in 27 classrooms with 1st through 8th graders. The program's success from 2005 to 2007 triggered the hiring of full-time certified arts teachers in those 27 schools. And the foundation Dennis has laid helped keep arts instruction alive in Philadelphia, even during the worst crisis in the district's history. Dennis, it's your turn to come on up. You're great, you're great. Oh, hugely important, right? Thank you, Dennis. Deep in the heart of the Mississippi Delta, another Dennis, Dennis Dupree, of the Clarksdale School District, spearheaded a number of initiatives to bring rich curricula and innovative academic programs to a system that offered little beyond the basics of reading and math. He earned a reputation around the state as the superintendent who is willing to try new things, man after my own heart, and Clarksdale has become that place the state education agency often calls on first to pilot programs. He has transformed schools into magnet programs designed to fire up students and their families and ratcheted up the academic rigor of instruction. Dennis Dupree, it's your turn to come on up stage. There you are. Thank you. Congratulations. Faced with devastating fires, ravaging his community, Colorado Springs School District 11 Superintendent Nicholas Gleditch took a lead role in helping residents in keeping residents informed about the emergency and coordinating closely with fire and police officials. The district opened up a crisis counseling center, provided a staging area for 1,500 firefighters, provided transportation to displaced families and students, and collected money to support the needs of families forced out of their homes. When a neighboring school district was facing a similar fire threat, Nick directed his staff members to share his district's battle-tested advice with peers in the adjacent district. Nick, please let us honor you. Congratulations. We have our colleague there, sweetheart. Thank you, congrats. Through the Core Task Project, Aaron Grossman, the project's creator in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction for Washoe County Public Schools in Nevada, and his colleagues are helping teachers carry out the Common Core in their classrooms by finding and providing them with resources and original sources. And then they're gathering and synthesizing their feedback as they develop and test new lessons and curriculum materials in their own classrooms. While interpreting and bringing the new standards into the classroom can be a tricky and convoluted process, Grossman is enabling teachers to lead the way in devising the best practices and to help both teachers and students reach their full potential. They developed an inquiry-driven professional learning model for helping educators and administrators come to know and own the new standards. The year-long project has grown from 18 teachers to more than 1,400 educators in the district. Aaron wasn't able to be with us today. However, Scott Bailey, the Chief Academic Officer for Washoe County Public Schools, Nevada, is here to accept the recognition for Mr. Grossman. So Scott, could you please join me up here? Washoe. I can't say it right, can I? I know, here. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, Scott. Tracy Hill. She's the Executive Director of the Office of Family and Community Engagement for the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. Helped implement Parent University in the fall of 2011. More than 1,500 parents and caregivers have given workshops on a variety of topics, which are aligned with the academic as well as social and emotional goals of the district. The goal of Parent University is to build the capacity of parents and caregivers to be advocates, leaders, and partners in the academic success of their children. Parent University expanded last spring in partnership with College Now of Greater Cleveland to include college tours for parents and caregivers and students. Parent University college bus tours give families opportunities to visit colleges and universities to better prepare high school families and increase awareness of the college-going process. More than 300 parents and their children have visited 18 colleges and universities in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. In Cleveland, there are many families who never have gone to college, and if they did, chances are they attended a community college and did not have the chance to experience campus life or meet new people from around the country. This opportunity brings families together to begin the college application process and includes a luncheon with college recruiters and students to bring real-life experiences and education to families. The college tours also provide chances for interaction and relationship building between Hill's staff, Tracy's staff, and families so that a college and career preparation continues there. So that as college and career preparation continues, there are department coordinators who serve as allies and supporters of students as they make their journey from college testing to deciding on a college. Tracy, we are happy to honor you here on stage. I'm just noticing these great pictures, by the way. That's a good one, that's a good one.